Come here. You need to hide, Dante. No matter what happens, you mustn't leave. I need to find Virgil. I promise I'll be back. I know this is hard. You must listen to me. Be a big boy. A man, huh? If I don't return, you must run. By yourself, alone. You must change your name. Forget your past and start a new life. As someone else. A new beginning. Virgil! Where are you, Virgil?
For a second there, I thought you were gonna shish kebab me.
I know how stubborn you can be. I thought it might be the only way to wake you.
What day is it?
The 15th of June.
A month? No wonder I'm so stiff.
Right, Sunshine. Now put a fire under it. We gotta get going because that annoying pimple Nero is making a beeline for Urison, and if he gets there, he's gonna...
Hey, this is my gig. Leave Nero out of this.
If you could defeat Urison, then I never would have dreamed of using that child. Urison is much stronger than we ever could have imagined.
Oh, it stinks in here.
I know. Smells like hot garbage.
This is far worse than I thought.
There's no crime in turning tail, V. These things might be a little too much for you.
You're right. I'll leave the rest to you.
What? Whoa, my Ivy. All the way down here and turning tail, really? Huh?
One must always have an insurance policy.
Who was that guy? Can't believe he just ran.
No one special? Come on. Let's go clean up this garbage.
First come, first serve on the targets, right?
Music to my ears. Hurry up, Dante!
Guess I get to see it with my own eyes. If it really is you. guy really do this? Well, there's no accounting for taste. Come on, baby. Come get me. set free. You're set free. Nothing's gonna close if I don't hurry. What's the matter? They're already here. These ladies work fast. Yeah!
And now, I'm gonna play with... Come on, show me what you got.
Getting close. I can feel them. I'm bored.
on!
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. Well, well. O king of stench and filth. I'm impressed. Those are two of the most badass women in the world. And I only know one other guy who can defeat them. Jackpot.
Dante.
Our last hope, Nero, was completely useless.
Get her out of here! This was a bad move! Nero, go! You're just dead weight!
That bastard called me deadweight! I didn't come all this way for nothing!
is power. The Devil Sword Sparta no longer serves a purpose. I have plans for the both of you. You will exist to give me strength. How fortunate to serve such divine purpose.
All right. Enough's enough. Can't let a boy do a man's job.
Hey, wait. I'm not done talking yet.
Okay, you get some rest. By the way, I guess I owe you one. Looks like I overslept. Time for a warm-up. I'm not a fan of ruins. I like my cities lively. What a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna take it down.
Sweet dreams!
Up we go, I suppose. Seems like the fastest route. Well, that's gonna collapse. What? guy get a break? I just woke up from a long-ass night. Oh, they're just gonna let me through. Boy, wouldn't that be the day. Is it Halloween already? That costume looks a little big. I thought you had better taste than that. How about I take it in a little? Whoa, looks like I took in a little too much. You okay?
I've been better. Dante, that demon is...
Don't even think about it. Just rest.
Dante!
Take care of Trish for me.
Dante, wait!
Dante's left.
Yes. And I don't think he can win.
What was that demon, V? Where did it come from? Urizen is not a demon. I know that for a fact because I'm from the underworld. My God. What are you then?
It doesn't matter. I'm a shadow of my former self who lost everything. I will tell you the story of my birth. Suffering defeat after defeat, that man's body was reaching its limit, breaking down. But he couldn't die yet. The man had a job that must be done. To defeat his twin brother.
Dante.
Heavy chain that does freeze my...
In order to defeat his younger brother, he could only do one thing with the crumbling flesh and feelings. He needed to separate man from devil with the strength of the Yamato. And eventually, the man became a true devil. I've tried to hold together my crumbling flesh with what little demonic power I have left, but I'm approaching my limit. In separating and regaining my human soul, I've realized the gravity of the crime I've committed. I've realized how important everything was. Everything I've thrown away in my pursuit of power.
Is that why you went to find Dante?
Yes. Foolish. I thought that maybe he could change maybe fix. Maybe right my wrong. Tell me, Was this fool before you, right?
I'm not your mommy, V. You're a big boy. And you need to see this through. Dante's war.
How's that for road rash?
Unless you want to die, I suggest you get the hell out of my way.
You look like you just had your ass handed to you.
Go back to hell!
I just realized my microphone is muted. I don't even know how long I've been talking, and I didn't even know the thing was muted. That's fucking crazy. I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Well, I guess we can do a summary of what I've talked about with the stream. Talking about shit that I'll probably regret 5 years down the line. Just because, you know, liquid courage. One. And you know what? Let me feel like a big streamer for 5 seconds. Let me feel like a big streamer. Let me feel like there's activity in the chat when I know there is, and I'm staring at the fact that there's 0 people watching the stream. Let's say one, like comment 1, comment the number 1 if you drink Crown. Comment the number 2 if you drink Jack. Doesn't have to be any flavor specific. If you want to name a specific flavor, then you name it after your number. But 1 is Crown, 2 is Jack, 3 is New Amsterdam, and 4 is you mix. In which case, please tell us what you mix together. And then 5, you don't drink at all. And if you do drink quote-unquote alcoholic brand beverages, it's the low-calorie or the zero alcoholic options, because I know Gen Z isn't really an alcohol drinker anymore. Outside of me, I continue to be the exception, both in my family and in my generation.
If I follow these groups,
yeah.
When in doubt, smack it. That's their family motto.
I don't know if that's a good family motto. Oh. And if you hear this sound right here, that is nicotine. Because in the military, when I started smoking, we weren't allowed to smoke anything but nicotine. Even though back when I was in the military is when everywhere started to legalize all the extra fun stuff. Nope. Federally, we were still limited to nicotine. So that's all that I do is nicotine. Do I have the option to buy other stuff? Sure, especially in my area, around 8 Mile in Detroit.
Here comes the blood.
Nope. I still only do nicotine. I have not gone to the harder shit. Do I want to? I'm curious. I'm curious what weed will do. Or edibles, even. Because I hear some edibles, like, make you giggly. I hear some edibles, like, make you sick. I hear some other ones are kind of mild. You just kind of get a little loopy or giggly. But I think it'd be an interesting experience. Outside of that, though, nope. I just do nicotine and alcohol. The true signs of an army soldier. Nicotine and alcohol. And energy drinks. Don't forget the energy drinks. I guess, you know what? For the rest of the stream, I'll see if I can yap on the military background and see if I can keep my voice going instead of just being quiet. Even though I don't think that's gonna raise, you know, the tension in any way, shape, or form. Back in 2020, I had, well, back in 2018-ish times, I started working a summer job as a press operator for a company. And I was making metallic car parts. Literally like Eminem and 8 Mile. I was working metallic car parts. I can literally name off, you know, serial numbers and this, that, and the third. Parts that go into cars that you probably drive. Because we work with everybody. We are a, what is it, tier 1 or tier 3 fucking manufacturing thing. So we work with Chrysler, we work with John Deere, we work with Chevrolet, we work with Ford. You know, if it has an engine, we work with them. Outside of that, it's hard to focus on, you know, a convoluted conversation topic, as well as, you know, convoluted fucking. I'm gonna call it a mini boss area because there's 2 of them, and they're gonna have that fucking defensive shit that helps them survive any damage I deal. And unlike Nero, who can fucking grab them and insta-kill them through that route, Dante doesn't have that, he just has his Nero guard. But yeah, likely more. Hell, we even take military projects, I know that. I'm not going to say what the military projects are for, or what the serial numbers on those are for obvious reasons. But I can guarantee you... Fuck! Like 75% of the health bar, because I'm trying to have a conversation with chat. Fuck you. Really? The fact that I was able to dodge roll out of the way means that animation ended. I started working a summer job in 2018-ish. 2017-ish timeline, you know, as you maybe do in this generation. And obviously this is pre-COVID in 2020, so you know, I was not aware of the stuff that was gonna happen back then. Back in 2020, our company would, you know, a lot of people would stop working because, you know, COVID. They don't want to come into the shop, you know, do some hard labor, you know, do some manual stuff that's going to be difficult and this, that, and the third. It would also just mainly for, you know, obviously, you know, health concerns. You know, me and my old man, because we work in the same shop, you know, we worked in the building together. Because I'm going to have to see him when he gets home later anyways. So if he catches anything at the shop, I'm going to catch it when I get home. Or when he gets home, regardless. So why be scared of working at the shop with him? And, you know, we kept working. And then we ran out of jobs. And it came to the point where even I wasn't safe from, you know, the layoffs and other things that happened during 2020 and 2021. And I was already half considering the military for one of two reasons. One, it was with the illusion that the military, well, I can't even say the illusion the military thinks, because the military, I don't think, really tells you you're going to get rich or die trying. There's just the stigma of everyone who joins the military gets a fucking Hellcat, and, you know, that's supposed to be money and wealth, or whatever you may have you. Or, you know, the military men get the babes, or, you know, what other stereotypes. I fell for all that fun shit while I was still in high school, obviously. I'm gonna use this, because if I don't, he's just gonna fucking continue to milk my health bar, and I'm not about to deal with it. And I still get I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die from this. Look how much health he's doing. It's bullshit. Cause I got caught up in fucking my senses are tingly. Where was I at? Right, fucking I decided to join the military for one of two reasons. I either wanted to get rich, because I feel like that was a way to do it, especially with an economy that was maybe struggling in 2020, or I was going to die trying. And if I died trying, then that meant that my family, which is undeserving of my money, was going to get fucking like $400,000. So you know what? They could never say that I didn't get anything at the end of the fucking day. At the end of the month when bills came around, they could never say I didn't give them shit, because I literally did a job that if I died, it was going to give them $400,000. That was the intention of joining the military, and honestly, truthfully, if I had to be honest with you, I preferred the latter. I preferred death over anything else that the Army could offer me. Especially since at the time, this was before Joe Biden officially took office, and we had the whole bullshit in the Middle East, because we left the fucking, you know, shit. So there was a high likelihood that my unit, whatever I got deployed to, may or may not have went to the Middle East, and I may or may not have died. And you know what? I wouldn't have been mad at it. That's honest and truly the mental state that I was at in fucking 2020 for reasons that I didn't know. But what you need to know is that that was my mentality.
Don't want to keep Mr. Demon King waiting. Gotta pick up the pace.
And so I joined back in, what's the official date, like June or August of 2021? No, not 2021, 2020. That's the official date. And then by the time I graduated basic training, okay, basic training in and on itself was rough because the military was encountering COVID just like the rest of the planet was, so they didn't know how to deal with it. And so there was this really big, you know, this is what the military is saying to do right now. But it's literally changing every day kind of mentality. And that's nothing on the drill sergeants. They were doing the best they could with the information they had at literally that very second in time. But it was rough as a recruit because you could be halfway. We were literally on week 7 out of 10 of training, and I want to say maybe 70% of our fucking training cycle had caught COVID, because there was one guy that everybody identified as he looks and sounds and is behaving like he's physically sick. And as much as we might want to discredit that as, you know, he's a fucking civilian, he's not adapting to, you know, the military culture and fucking this, that, and the third. No, he was sick. There's no fucking discrediting that. And he refused to go to sick hall and get checked because he didn't want to ruin his training cycle and get recycled for COVID. So he ruined everyone else's cycle. Because I got called in for COVID, which means I had to leave my company, go through like 2 or 3 weeks of fucking contamination, and then I went back to training with a whole new company that was back at like week 4. And there was a whole period of time where they weren't even training me. They were using me as a helper. Just so I could help everyone else who actually needs to do this training event and do it.
Man,
and that's the best they could do. Not to mention, you're supposed to have 3 drill sergeants per platoon. We had 1. And like only by like week 7 or 8 out of 10 did we get the second one. Because apparently she was pregnant. And she had just had a kid. And she went back to training us. COVID was such a weird fucking training cycle, as well as just like a like cycle to do anything with. because it changed the dynamic of so much shit. But, you know, neither here nor there. That's back in 2020. That has nothing to do with my military career going forward. Right? I'm looking at my computer. Military career through late 2020 and early 2021, maybe even some of 2022. Because, you know, federally we hadn't come up with any standards yet. It was all state driven. You know, based on what, you know, the consensus was with like hospitals and shit.
Hey, what's wrong with you? Hey! Hey,
I had to wear a mask everywhere, which was rough, even like during ruck marches and shit, you know, because it's already hard enough to breathe with a 40-pound backpack, but now I have to breathe through a fucking mask.
Why did my father give me the rebellion?
Okay, what are you muttering?
And then, you know, all that other fun stuff on top of it, you know, going into buildings with a mask on, this, that, and the third. Not being able to do certain things because, you know, potential COVID contaminants within the company or within yourself.
If the Yamato can separate man from devil, then what about the rebellion?
Wow. You are absorbing the Sparta.
And, you know, that was interesting, but it didn't necessarily slow the progress of my career up until federally they tried to mandate the COVID vaccination through fear-mongering. Because Pfizer was just having all kinds of shit come up with their fucking vaccinations. And then the other two were just untrustworthy in general because the vaccine's been out for like 6 months. We have zero understanding of any long-term effects outside of like a year or 2 years or beyond that with this vaccine that we just miraculously came out with. So it was one of those things where like you could deny it, but you might get kicked out.
Dante.
And there's really nothing you can do at that point if you got, you know, kicked out. Like, what are you supposed to do? You're gone. What else? Fucking... I was one of the people who initially rejected it, along with like 5 other people. 2 of them I knew personally. The other 2 caved before I did. And, you know, the commander kept talking to me about it, and eventually I caved. So I got the vaccine through, I think, Moderna. I think Moderna. And, you know, I continued my military career for the rest of its life cycle. And boy, was it a journey and a half. To say the least. And not even necessarily because of, like, you know, COVID restrictions on things that we could do and couldn't do. Just like the atmosphere around the military. Because we know we're federally involved, and that means we have a lot of different restrictions that other people don't. Like, you might be from Texas. You might see your friends doing this, that, and the third on Snapchat or Instagram, and you know you cannot partake in it because you're federally, not state. And I actually knew a guy, I don't know if he was from Texas, but he was from one of the states that, like, legalized marijuana and, like, all that other fun shit. And he was watching his people, like, you know, from his local area, you know, do all of, like, that stuff. And he couldn't. And that made him feel, you know, a certain type of way. But, you know, there's nothing he can do about it per se. It's not like the, you know, federal government is going to just rationalize legalizing a controlled substance that is primarily supposed to be used for medicinal purposes, but other people abuse it for all of its other purposes, which are good, like, in a way, but not for your health. It's good because, you know, it makes you feel good, which most of the shit that makes you feel good comes with all kinds of side effects. And that's what the military was trying to have us avoid, is, you know, getting these dependencies and other things that you might not be able to, you know, compensate once you get outside the battlefield in Iraq. Like, Iraq, you know, they're not gonna have fucking weed for you to fucking, you know, find and use there. So you're just stuck. What the fuck are you supposed to do then, under that circumstance? Because, you know, Iraq was for the Middle East as a whole, was the last big war that we fought, so that's what all of our training doctrine is. So that's all the war that we know in the modern era. Don't believe me? I guess you can look at the Ukrainian-Russian war. What's the last war that Ukraine, not Ukraine, but but what's the last war that, like, South Korea fought? Because they've been using what would appear to be, like, almost World War I tactics. With the way that they're sending, like, human meat waves and other things. So So that really makes you, you know, question.
All this time, and you still don't get it.
You know, what's the last war that they fought to where their doctrine is that outdated in Ukraine in today's day? That's just a perfect example of how the last war you fought defines what you know as a military. Just for an example.
What's happening?
Outside of that, though,
Go now. That houseplant is pissed off.
outside of that, though, the training doctrine wasn't terrible. I mean, the company that I was in, which I will not name what kind of soldier I was, whether it be infantry, engineers, artillery, this, that, and the third. I won't name that stuff, but I will say the company that I was in was definitely old-fashioned in the sense that the NCOs had like a lot of power that they should not have had. They did a lot of things that was not necessarily justified. Like, formation might be at like 6 o'clock in the morning. They'll have you show up at 4 a.m. And if you don't show up at 4 a.m., you're getting push-ups, sit-ups, fucking burpees until 6 a.m. Or at least until First Sergeant shows up. Because then they have to stop, because First Sergeant will say something to the sergeants. It was one of those kind of units. What do they call it? The Gentleman's Club, where they can do no wrong. That kind of bullshit. And I'm glad I caught the tail end of it, where they really started to crack down on that kind of horseshit. But a lot of the people around me who had already experienced it kind of shaded me for not necessarily experiencing it. Granted, there were a couple of guys that were cool about it, like, hey, I'm glad you came in where you didn't have to see, like, how rough it really was. But there were a couple of other people who were like, you will never amount to me as an individual because I've seen shit that you will never. And that's kind of like how I feel personally about, like, what is it, the shark attack in, like, basic training, where, like, you know, you get off the bus and you start running.
Of the Clifod.
Because there's definitely a certain correct way to do it. There's a correct way to have everybody on the bus with all of their duffel bags and this, that, and the third, and you give them that shock and awe effect without necessarily degrading them as an individual. Like the whole fucking, you know, do you want to fucking fight me shit? Because, like, if I actually did swing on you, I'm in the wrong. But you technically are instigating it by opening the opportunity for me to punch you in the face. You know what I mean? Fucking. That's the kind of shit that I didn't like in the shark attack, where they would instigate you to punch them, knowing full and damn well they have training to whoop your ass. But you're instigating me to throw a punch. Which isn't appropriate. Like, yes, throw me off the bus, make me run, make me confused, make me, you know, disorientated at nighttime where I can't even see and orientate myself properly. Give me all of that shock and awe without the degradation. Without the degradation that I'm less of an individual. Because whether you're man, woman, or that colorful in-between that the military and other people don't want to acknowledge because technically it's a medical defect. Michael Jackson. Don't think I'm not paying attention to the cutscene that's happening just as I'm yapping. I think there's some form of a healthy medium where you're not degrading a person while also trying to show them this shit is different from the shit that you think it is.
I'll take that.
or the shit that you think that
Dante.
you're used to.
I'm gonna go too.
Why don't you sit this one out?
Oh, let you call me dead weight again? No thanks. I've got all the power I need. Right here.
You don't understand. It's not what I mean.
Let him go, Dante. Time is a luxury that we can no longer afford. We must chase after him post-haste.
What? Does that mean you're going too?
I have a duty to see this through.
Well, that's all you had to say, Mr. Poetry. I'm gonna go my way, and you guys can go yours. Let's just say that's the best for the cause.
What was I saying about the military life? What was I saying? Right, shark attacks. Like, yes, I know the shark attacks were designed during the Vietnam era, and that they're designed to whittle out the weak next to the strong. I understand that's what their intention is. And I'm okay with that intention. You need to identify who's the weak link in your training company so that you can train them individually up to be close to the strongest link. So when they go to their actual unit in the military, they're not holding everybody back. That's what you want, I think, anyways. But as for, like, how do I want to phrase it? As for, like, if you want to treat, if the military wants to be what it is, like, majority of it anyways, today, where, like, you're treating an individual as an individual outside of, like, you know, sex, gender, fucking religion, and all that other fun shit. There's a way you can respect someone as a person without treating them like shit. Like I said, I got recycled, and I got sent back to a company that was at... Actually, I forgot the whole middle portion of that. There was a time period where I was at week 7, I got recycled, I was at reception for like 2 weeks before they actually put me back in another company that hadn't even started basic training yet. They were still at like week -1 because they were still testing people for COVID. And by the time we had actually officially technically got started, they had already identified the weak links. And one of them, I don't know if it's because they didn't tell them, I don't know if it's because he just like failed to retain the information, but like he couldn't make his bed. Like either his corners were sloppy or, you know, this was wrong, but like his bed making was bad. And no one in the room with him corrected him. And if they tried to, the drill sergeant stopped them from correcting him so that they could smoke everybody as a collective, which is a problem. You can't, like, the intention of smoking an individual is to have them get right. If they don't get right, you smoke the group so that the group helps the individual get right. And if the group doesn't get the individual get right, then you expand upon that. They completely skipped the individual portion of training and immediately jumped to the group, and now the group isolated the individual, and he wasn't learning anything because no one was teaching him anything. There was a whole time where like the kid like actually mentally and emotionally broke down to the drill sergeant and was like, nobody showed me this shit. Nobody. And like, nobody's helping me. I'm asking for help. Nobody's helping me. And all you guys keep having me do is push-ups, which isn't fixing the issue. And then a drill sergeant tried to show him But like they gave him one demonstration, never watched him physically do it, and left the room. I understand the drill sergeant has a lot to do, but like, if you're gonna train someone, watch them do it so that you know they retain the information. And if you see them make an error along the line, course correct. That's how that training is supposed to look. I don't know if like necessarily per doctrine, because obviously I never went through drill sergeant training, but there was a point in time where I got reshifted from this negative ass company to a better one who was closer to where I was in my training cycle at week 7. They were at like week 3 or 4 where like they entered, was it white phase, where the drill sergeants kind of, you know, lean back a little bit off of their dictatorship and start asking you questions to see if you can think as an individual. And also just kind of like, you know, entering a more training mode instead of a do push-ups mode. That's where I entered. And I walked by that company like doing marches and shit, and they were outside with their bed bunks, setting up their bed bunks outside of the building, just because they never actually corrected the kid. And supposedly like 3 or 4 weeks later, I heard that every single drill sergeant in that building got 86th. Just because there was bullshit going on, and people finally called them out on it. Where are you at now? You can... I don't give a fuck if any of those drill sergeants fucking come to talk to me through my comment section. You lost your title as a drill sergeant. Where the fuck are you now? Are you some platoon sergeant in a fucking artillery division? Because that's what your original MOS was? Get the fuck on somewhere. You fucked up as a trainer. As a trainer, you're not even teaching people how to man the artillery guns. You're not even teaching people how to man an infantry position, or an engineer position, or a logistics position. You failed as a initial introduction position. Not even the complex shit. An introductory position. You failed that because you're so hard at ass and on your high horse that you fucked up. I have shit that I could have said to higher up and then had them bring it back down. I didn't, because I didn't care. I thought it was a big deal, but I didn't think the deal they were making it was that big a deal. I'm not going to deny it. The company that I initially got recycled to, I could look around the room and tell that the drill sergeants themselves, as well as the company itself, was Latino. I could look at the faces, look at the way they moved, look at the way they talked, and tell that this was a company by design to help Latinos not only move into the military career if they wanted to, but also move into the specifics of the military career. Because there were multiple times that one of the privates in training moved up to the drill sergeants, and they would start to speak in English, and then they would lose track of themselves with the pressure and start speaking in Spanish. And then the drill sergeants would be like, hey, by code of law, we have to speak English. There were multiple times where I saw that. This was a company designed for Hispanics and or Latinos to get adjusted to military climate and English climate. This is exactly what it was designed for. And I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. There was a drill sergeant who I have never seen. He wasn't there during the daytime. He wasn't there during any of the training. He wasn't there during chow. He wasn't there during... I have yet to see this drill sergeant exist. The first time I see him is night watch, where he's supposed to make sure everyone's in fucking bunks where the night guard is doing their due diligence as fucking, you know, fire guard. And the very first thing I hear out of his mouth is, you know, the fucking, you know, half right face, you know, push up position, fucking stand at attention, half right, fucking parade rest, you know, all of the drill and fucking all that shit. And the next thing he calls out is Star Spangled Banner. Now, I understand that in the blue book that they give you during basic, the Star Spangled Banner is in there. I understand that that is a thing that you may or may not want to know defending the country. But up to this point in time with this company, at like week 1, there has been 0 drill sergeants that have named Star Spangled Banner. They only said, no, the soldier's creed, no, this, that, and the third. He's the only individual who named Star Spangled Banner. And when he did, and no of the Latinos knew how to fucking recite it, because they don't usually have to recite it, he made it a race thing by saying, and I quote, "How are you going to join my military and not know my national anthem?" At that point, I had a problem. I don't have a problem with you saying, know this knowledge, which is in a book that I gave you. I want you to know this knowledge. But when you identify as the national anthem as an individual thing, and say that this company, which is identifiable as not of this nationality, that they should know it, is a problem. That's, I don't want to say borderline racism. I don't want to say that. It's segregation in a way. You're hating on this group of people for not knowing something that's specific to you. Because you grew up in this culture. They didn't. They're coming into it. And you're hazing them for not knowing what they're coming into. When nobody taught them it, because nobody knew it to teach them. But I didn't say anything. Apparently somebody else down the line did. And now that entire company is fucking 86. There's new drill sergeants in there. They couldn't even keep their fucking company mantras and, like, identifications. Like, originally, I think they were... I don't want to say they're an original company stuff, but, like, I know what it was originally. Let's just say it's not that anymore. Literally everything about that company has changed ever since I heard those rumors. Supposedly. So that just goes to show how deep that bullshit was rooted in, and nobody said anything until someone finally did. Chop that shit off. Again, I don't have a problem if you tell me, hey, it's in this book that I gave you that I told you to study. I don't give a fuck if nobody else has tested you on it. I'm testing you on it. Because it's in the book I told you to study. That's fine. You gave me a book. You told me study the book. You're testing me on this portion of the book no one else has tested me on. But it's in the book that I was told to study. I should know it. Because it's in a book that I was told to study. But when you make it a race and or a national and or a, you know, diplomatic issue, that's when it becomes a problem. But anyways, I got moved out of that company because everyone else that I got recycled with just kept fucking yapping off at the mouth. And we got moved like a week forward, like that was gonna do anything. There was a whole lot of like toxicity. And I don't know if that comes with like how they have to train and how they have to cycle people. But there was so much shade being thrown. Like, I would love for, you know, everyone to get along. And, you know, the older people help the younger people to be better. so that when the younger people become older people, they can help the younger people to become even better older people. I would love for that. But for whatever reason, like millennials and like Gen X and like baby boomers, they don't have that mentality. They have that mentality of I'm superior, I'm superior, and I had to deal with a lot of bullshit. So I'm gonna give you bullshit, and you have to climb above it like how I did. No, I want you to be better than that. Like, and this might be a Gen Z thing or a Gen Alpha thing. I don't know. But let's just say AIT or like job training is like another 10 weeks on top of like basic training. And for 10 weeks, you're training. But during those 10 weeks of training, there might be another group ahead of you by like 4 weeks or like 8 weeks. In which case, the 8-week group is hazing the fuck out of the, just starting group or the 4-week group. And then when you move up a tier, the now 8-week group is continuing the cycle. They're perpetuating the trauma. Instead of saying, hey, I know this was annoying. I know this was kind of horse shit to deal with. I'm not going to perpetuate it any further. I'm going to let this group grow in a more healthier environment. Nobody had that mentality. Nobody did. When we came in, we were moving buildings, and all of the fucking older fucking groups took all of the good shit. We didn't get an option for anything, even though we were supposed to. The good group, which was right next to us, kept getting fucking drilled and repeated on, and because we were next to them, we caught their strays, and that wasn't nice, because we didn't do shit. A lot of times on the weekends, we were in our bays, we were washing clothes, we were taking showers, we were studying, like we were legit in our bays, minding our own business. We would go down to the drill sergeant's office and ask, hey, can we go to the PX and go get a shave for our face so we can stay in regulation? Can we go to the PX and maybe buy a bag of chips? Because all we're doing up here is reading a fucking book that we've been reading for the last day or two. Can we stay down in the common room and maybe play fucking Connect 4 or Monopoly? Just like pass the time? Like, as like the lower group, that's literally all we did. We had our phones. A lot of us were just on our phones watching YouTube videos, catching up on shit we missed from the last 10 weeks. And that was fine for like the first week or two while catching up. But again, AIT is 10 weeks. There's a whole 8-week period where like it's what the fuck. And there were just a couple of individuals who could not get it right. And respect to the drill sergeants for identifying those individuals and maybe a few people around them, and not isolating people who were doing right. I'm just gonna say this, there was a time period where one of those bullshitters tried mocking the accent of a drill sergeant, and they were heard. The entire room started doing push-ups. And by the way, this is like 10 o'clock, so this is after lights out. This is after you're supposed to be asleep, so you can go to work the next day and be functional. I was one of those people, because I'm used to waking up at 6 in the morning for my summer job at high school. I'm used to going to bed early so that I can be functional at 6 in the morning, before the fucking sun comes up. I was functional. And so the drill sergeant has everybody else pushing, everybody else pushing, everybody else pushing. They walk by my bunk while I'm unconscious. I'm asleep. And they see my feet dangling off the edge of the bed. They look at me. My bunk buddy looks at me. And they're like, oh shit. Drill sergeant walks right by me. Because all things considered, I was doing what I was supposed to do. I was asleep during the time that I was supposed to be asleep. You know what I mean? And it's not favoritism, and you cannot claim this as favoritism, because the way this works, there's two people who primarily watch. There's one person that manages. The person who manages and has zero interaction with the rest of the recruits is the one who was having them do push-ups. So there's like zero case where he has favoritism for me as an individual. All he knows is that somebody mocked his accent after lights out and everybody is doing push-ups, except for the guy who's knocked the fuck out so he can go to work in the morning. At that point in time, what the fuck do you say to him? Do you wake him up and maybe fuck up his training for the next day? And now he's behind? Or do you just leave him alone because he's doing what he was supposed to do? Like, yeah. And outside of that, fucking what else happened? There was SA fucking situations. There were hazing situations. There were assault situations. My company, like, not my company. I'm not going to blame it on the entire company. Majority of the company was fine, as far as I'm aware. My platoon racked up infraction after infraction after infraction. Now, I was one of the people who tried to tell people, hey, this is literally what they're getting on our ass for. Knock it the fuck off. Our instructors are reporting us because they see it, just like how I'm seeing it right now. Knock it the fuck off. And they looked at me like I was cockeyed. And then, Lord and behold, what happens? Week 8. We are literally 2 weeks away from graduation. We are in the process of taking pictures and this, that, and the third to celebrate our graduation. Company commander comes out and says, hey, everybody, this is supposed to be the mature group. Do not idolize them. I'm getting lumped in as the person telling everybody else to do right. I'm getting lumped in as the person telling everybody else to do correct as a part of the shitty group. Because there's people who just don't listen. They don't. And I can't fix that. Because I'm, at this point in time, 18 or 19. A lot of these guys, depending, are like 20. They're not gonna fucking listen to me. I'm literally watching them streak up and down the fucking bays in their fucking underwear. As a 22-year-old. Because this is the first time that they felt freedom. And they don't know how to cope. But somehow, magically, the 18 and 19-year-old has more maturity. That has nothing to do with age or experience or this, that, and the third. That's in... Actually, no. That has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with experience. Which is why I hate the baby boomer and millennial mentality of I'm older, I'm more mature than you, I'm more knowledgeable. No, you have more experience. Age does not equivalent knowledge or maturity. Age equivalates to experience. And experience derives your maturity or knowledge. Because in my fucking 15 or 14 years of living, I can guarantee you my maturity level was equivalent to that of a 27-year-old. Because I legit got that comment from teachers and students around me. Which I think is bullshit. How the fuck am I a 6th or 7th or 8th grader having more maturity than not only my entire age bracket, but people above my age bracket? These are people who are supposed to be going through a midlife crisis. Which, funnily enough, in 7th grade, I did go through a midlife crisis. There was a whole point in time in 7th grade where I was in choir trying to learn how to sing in a harmony with everyone else around me. And I was contemplating what job am I going to have to get in order to buy a 1 or 2 story house and manage a kid and potentially a pet, along with whatever significant other I have. That's not a thought process you have as a fucking 7th grader unless you are well and mature beyond your years. And there was a whole point in time in 7th grade where I wanted a job, but I didn't know if it would actually function and keep me secure. And so I had like a whole suicidal crisis because what I want and what might be necessary are not equal. This is not shit you'd think of in 7th grade. I am not the same as anyone else in my generation, as far as I'm aware. There might be individuals in my generation as Gen Z, because I was born in 2002, technically. There might be other, like, individuals like all across scattered about. The majority, or what's covered on the internet, because they don't know how to stay off of TikTok or Instagram or Snapchat, what's covered, they do not represent me. And I would love to say that with a straight face, but I don't identify as a millennial either, because I don't flick my trauma off to the generation below me either. I'm this healthy. I want to write a book. I'm going to start playing the game, don't worry. I wanted to write a book titled
We'll meet back up at some point.
A Generation with Free Thinking. Because if this was back in the 1950s or 1900s, the only thinking that I'd be able to base my, experience off of is what my parents tell me, or what I read in my local newspaper, which may or may not be biased to, a certain political agenda. So that's why I wanted to name the book, A Generation of Free Thinking. Because generations like me in 2000, where you were born with, smartphones and this, that, and the third, you had a chance to, formulate your own opinion, define your definition of this, that, and the third, outside of what, everyone else before you had to limit themselves to. Because you had a smartphone, you had an iPad. At any point in time, you could Google research this topic, this topic, this topic, or this topic, and get this broad range of information from all over the spectrum. This is the generation that Gen Z is a generation of free thinking. Millennials on the tail end are a generation of free thinking, and Gen Alpha from the very spawn is a generation of free thinking. Which means if you have a definition that I don't like, I can try and tell you, but because you're so stuck in your ways, you're gonna try and tell me that what I think is wrong, and I'm not gonna vibe with it. And that's what a lot of the older generations don't get. They're used to telling how it is and not getting any feedback, because we don't have any knowledge of how it is. You could tell me Democrats are the party to beat. Sure, maybe 8-10 years ago when that was true, that was true. Today it doesn't seem that way. But you're still going to argue with me about it. Even though I have, knowledge, because all I can do is go on Google. Hey, what did Trump say on January 6th or January 16th, whatever the date is? And I have that knowledge at my fingertips. You have Fox News, because that's all you're used to looking at. And they may or may not be the most reliable, news source. Maybe they have a little bit more of a Democratic agenda. Maybe they have more of a Republican agenda. Maybe they're going to try to stay centralist and not give any kind of agenda. But then one party is going to pay them to speak their agenda. Don't believe me, look it up. It happens all the fucking time. Fox News is primarily Democrat as far as I'm fucking aware. CNN, I don't remember what CNN is, but I think it's Republican. And then like there's Ground News, who just recently came out, who's like supposed to be like centralist, in which case they tell you this is what people in the middle think, this is what people on the right think, this is what people on the middle, on the left think, and this is what people aren't talking about. They're just giving you knowledge for almost fucking free. And you have to decide what to do with it. But let's say this is back during like the Renaissance era, and you grew up in a Christian household where they think the world revolves around the sun, not vice versa. Where they think the planet is still the center of the universe, not vice versa. And this is during the Renaissance era where science is taking over religion. How the fuck are you supposed to have that conversation with your parents? They're telling you the earth is the center. Everything else revolves around Earth. But if I look through this fucking glass fucking scope, I can see a sun, and I can notice mathematically that that's not quite how that works. How am I supposed to talk to you? Because you're trying to convince me of your way. I'm trying to tell you this is what I see, and you're not listening. That's the problem with old generations. They don't listen. This is what they grew up on. This is what they're trying to grow you up on, and we know better, and we're just not listening. That's why generations of people not talking to parents after they leave the house is on the rise. Because we're tired of listening and not being listened to. At the end of the day, if that's how you want to summarize it, we're tired of listening and not listening to. Because we have ideals. You grew up in a household where you could work at fucking Walmart and TGI Fridays, 2 minimum wage incomes, and afford a house and a kid. Mom didn't have to do shit but take care of the house. You grew up on that environment. I grew up on an environment where if I'm not a fucking college graduate who's working my college degree, I have to rely on my wife's income in order to pay a fucking bill. Those are two real different worlds, and you're trying to teach me as if you understand it. You didn't grow up how I did. Don't try and teach me. You don't get it. And that's what I'm tired of hearing. Probably one of the most annoying phrases I heard in the military is "you kids." I'm gonna say that one more time because it hits so different in today's modern political climate. The most annoying phrase as a Gen Z individual to hear is "you kids." Because again, this is a generation of free thinking. Not everybody, worships fucking TikTok and, does their own thing with that. And I feel like maybe, especially as an individual in Gen Z, that might be like the biggest issue facing us between the different generations, is just that we don't think the same way. You're gonna try and teach us your way, but it's not applicable the same way it was for you back then. And so we can try and listen to it, but it's not the same information. It's not nearly as fucking reliable to go off of. Your best piece of advice if I want to fucking you know, opened up my fucking perspective might be to go to the fucking local library. Who the fuck goes to the local library anymore? I can pull up everything in a local library on my fucking phone from the comfort of my home. There's no point in going to the local library. Political shit, I mean, politics have changed a lot. Democrats used to be, like, honestly, you know, for the working class. Now it seems like the Republican Party is, and that's why we won, you know, 2024. Because that's, you know, majority of America. Majority of America is the working class. You appeal to the working class in America, you're gonna win presidency. You try to appeal to the 1%, you do not have majority. And that's what I think the Democrats failed at, personally. Like, majority, like, Democrats tried to sell this, you know, like, idea that, you know, the world is nice, you know, everything's fucking cool, fine, and dandy. Sure, it might be at the 1% when you're working at an office job, but if you're on a construction site, the world isn't nice to you. It really isn't. It really isn't. You gotta deal with SAs, and you can't pay that shit off like a 1%er can. Fucking, you gotta deal with this, that, and the third. You gotta actually clock in, do physical labor. That shit don't apply. And even then, you're barely paying fucking bills. It's raining outside. I don't know if you're gonna hear that. I'm just gonna let you know, though. I'm trying to jump and it's literally not. And now you feel I was trying to jump. Notice how much damage it takes to kill this one fucking enemy. This is why I hate playing on Dante Never Die. Because, like, how is this fair as a player to have to try and deal this much damage to an individual enemy that is this fucking movement orientated and does that much damage? How is that fair? Sure, I can spam this and be done with the threat as much as the next guy. But, like, how is that fair as an individual player? Especially if you haven't had a chance to watch that. So that's supposed to be a throw. Did nothing. And I couldn't even carry him up in the air because it takes fucking damage buffer. What else? What was I yapping about? What time is it? It's 8:10. Goddamn. Oh yeah, passing it down, generational trauma, the fucking company that got 86, fucking there were a couple of other companies around me that got fucking, 86, and I'm not gonna speak on those because the situations that those drill sergeants put the soldiers through is not okay. I don't care if you believe that they deserve a hard introduction. I don't care if you believe that, this is just, the culture. It is not okay. Like, the shit that happened was potentially, life-threatening. Like, if someone really took it that seriously and someone was that mentally unstable and they made it through the system, what they did was not okay. Not under any circumstances of the word. I'm not going to speak on company name. I'm not going to speak on company titles. I'm not going to speak on where, when, or how. But that shit was not okay. And I am very much glad that those drill sergeants do not have a career in that field no more. I am very much okay with that. But like the military culture of hang on, let me text something. And like the training was fine. Obviously the training has been, redone and done over the years, it adjusts to, the times with COVID and this, that, and the third. I'm okay with that. People don't adjust. People take a very, very, very long time to adjust. And there are some people who are so stuck in their ways of, I had it rough, so I'm going to give it to you rough, and you have to fucking suck it up. I don't like that. I don't like that mentality. I really don't. I really think if you were an individual who grows beyond what the fuck you were taught, and you learn how to teach it in a better way, that might be better to be learned. Again, I see you, texting in my stream. I just don't know if, because that's the exact same text that's been sent like 4 or 5 times. I don't know if that's individual. I don't know if it's just glitching out and sending the same text, because it's the only comment I've ever gotten. Yeah. I really think if you are a drill sergeant leading an entire generation of people to be better individuals, that fucking generational trauma and or what you learned as an individual from your generation has no fucking limit. Learn how to teach or don't teach. You have no fucking room. Because there are people who are going to love your fucking learning style because they're old-fashioned. There are people who are going to hate it because they are a free thinker, and they do not think the way you are teaching is appropriate. Because it doesn't fly. Like, there is no reason that the company commander needs to come out and tells my entire platoon that you are a terrible fucking example to younger people and that you should be ashamed, when there are people who have actually tried to be a better example and everyone else around them has been a piece of shit and ruined it for everybody. And that's the shit that I hate about fucking older generations, is that they lump everybody together and tell the individuals to go fuck themselves. Because why the fuck are you not like this? That's the shit that I do not stand about you older generations. You can take it how you want it, but you know you do it, and the only reason you would be offended by you saying it is because you know it's fucking true. If it wasn't true, you would not be in my fucking comment section while I have 0 people watching the stream actively while it's happening. You would not jump into my stream after the fact if it was not true. military life is bullshit. As far as my sergeants and other things try to describe it to me, my company was a part of the gentleman's club, in which case they could do no wrong. You could report them as much as you wanted for the bullshit that they did. Nothing would happen. They're part of the gentleman's club. Nothing is going to happen to them. You just have to deal with it. You have to suck up and deal with it. And if you didn't like that answer, damn, that's crazy. You can't leave the military until your contract's done. Sucks to suck, I guess. This is your first duty station. You can't leave until your initial contract is done, because that's what the regulation is. And like, this is the thing that I have a problem with the military, is that per doctrine, you cannot leave your initial duty station for another duty station, with the exception that you go to training. And my company would broadcast all of the training that would keep you in the company, and fail to broadcast the training that you might be interested in that would have you leave the company because they wanted you to stay. Which I personally think is bullshit, because whether I want to stay or not is none of your fucking concern. I want to become air assault, or I want to become ranger. That has nothing to do with, you know, this branch or this branch or this branch, or this, you know, field or this field or this field. But I want to learn it. So teach me it. They wouldn't. They legitimately would not. Sucks to suck. If you wanted to go to it, we're just not going to process your paperwork. Oh, you want to go to it? Oh, I guess your fucking paperwork went missing even though you filled it out perfectly. Don't believe me? You can ask a certain person how their shit got delayed 7 months, and they had to have the people from where he was trying to go come down to our company and be like, hey, either you figure it out on his behalf, or we have a fucking problem. And First Sergeant had that shit done in 2 days. It's crazy how that shit works. Crazy how that shit works. Because they know they're not doing fucking right, but they still choose to do wrong because they don't want to let anybody fucking go. Because retention is terrible, because your leadership is terrible, and you want to be entitled and not fucking fix it. But if you simply fix the fucking problem for what it is, there would be no problem. But you refuse to. And that has nothing to do with us as individual soldiers. That has everything to do with people in positions of power.
I'm claiming what's mine.
It's not only raining, it's thundering and lightning now. Damn, that shit crazy. I may have chosen the wrong thing. I meant to choose fucking the cat. But no, I have to have fucking Nightmare. I have to wait till fucking 10 Devil Triggers so that I can actually use him. Oh shit, I feel bad that I picked the wrong one.
I can't tell you. To see the world when you say that heaven in a wildflower, holding infinity in the palm of your hand. Love your heart of anything on earth. To see a world in a grain of sand. Holding infinity in the palm of your
You know how I'm reading the book that's supposed to be giving me more double trigger gauge and it's not? It's not shit I can do. I accidentally showed. So there's Griffin, there's Nightmare, which apparently is the fucking.
Still on my side.
The fucking Devil Trigger thing. What the fuck is the other one called? Again, the book that's supposed to be giving me Devil Trigger is not giving me shit. I literally cannot beat this fucking boss because I chose the wrong fucking thing, thinking it was the goddamn cat.
Sure.
Until I fucking get enough Devil Trigger gauge to fucking fight this guy. Finally done. Jesus Christ.
These are true.
That's one down.
There's Griffin, which is the bird. Shadow. God fucking damn it. Oh, that's annoying. I fucked that up.
And
Peekaboo. Hey, princess. Sorry. Living the dream, baby. Hmm? No, I'm not, but I can be. Depends on what kind of depends on what kind of conversation you want to have. I'm here, baby. That is a great question that I cannot answer to you. Maybe Arrow got sick of our shit. Either that or his phone died and he's like me. I'm gonna say the more than likely option is that his phone died and he didn't even realize it. He's probably half fucked. He probably is asleep and he didn't even realize his phone died. If TB is awake, she's like waking up. Like, you know, like it's her time zone to wake up, not necessarily her like being awake in the middle of the night. You have to do what? Okay, Disney guys' parents are coming and you have to do what? Yeah. Living the dream, baby. Somebody's dream, not mine, but I'm living somebody's dream. That's how I phrase it at work. I'm living somebody's dream, not mine, but I'm living somebody's. Let's see.
Well, I'm gonna do the filter for Instagram, but
No, you know I like how you're natural. I don't want to see the filters. I want to see the natural, baby.
no, it's not like it's like not like
It's not killing. Oh well, she's gone.